Welcome to part two. We're joined by Richard. Women loving men want to smoke a cigar with him. It is what it is. We were just talking there about what next for the Rhino. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But personally, I think he's parked up. It is what it is, isn't it? Here's Richard. Here's Big Stoogie. Pop, pop, bang. Rich is connecting to audio. I need to change that.
I can.
Yeah, getting back to Rhino. So can we safely say that Eddie's just letting him get fat because there's a video doing rounds of him shadowboxing with a big derby hanging over his belly, hanging over his shorts? You think that's
I've
what they're doing?
seen it.
Gonna park him up and let him get fat and inactive?
Listen, I don't think it makes any difference whether he's. I don't think they'd do that as a strategy. They know what they're getting with him. I don't think they're worried about him being in shape and knocking one of Eddie's guys out.
Oh,
If anything, if he was to put him with AJ, you'd at least want to make it. You'd at least want the best Dave Allen there, wouldn't you? Even to
yeah,
make it something like so. To blow him over in one round, which could happen anyway. I don't think that would be a strategy. I think it's a matter of who do they match him with, and like you say, how can it sell? You probably want to put him as a chief support, wouldn't you, or even one fight under that on a big card, wouldn't you?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt. Uh, okay. Ricky Hatton. He's coming back in December. He's 47 in October, so he'll be in his 48th year in December. What's going on here, Richard?
So thumbnail. I've not watched your video. I've not heard a lot about it. So fill me in. What is it? An exhibition or something? What's
No, it's
happening with it?
it's going to be a proper boxing fight against some guy who nobody's ever heard of. Uh, I just wonder what your thoughts are on somebody coming back that old, and obviously he's got issues in his head with drinking, drugs, and depression and all that. It's the same old story, isn't it? Uh, I think it's pretty embarrassing for the sport if he does come back. I mean, he says he's a man of the people, but he was charging £1,000 a pop for that Barrera exhibition. That's not a man of the people, is it?
It sounds like a money grab, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know how he is with his finances.
Well,
Um, I don't think you should. I don't think you need a fight in front of thousands of people to get yourself motivated to train. You're either motivated or not, and you don't have to be in fighting condition to be in decent shape and to get your head right. So he might be telling himself that, but I mean, who wants to see that fight? I just don't get it. So it just sounds like a money grab. I mean, I would like to think he's been able to keep hold of his money, especially if he's doing all this after dinner circuit. But who knows? That white stuff's expensive, isn't it?
oh, yeah, well, half of it, he don't pay for it, does he? Nobody's ever seen him go by yet. But look, we can all go around pissed up in a Rolls Royce, charging X amount to do these talks and all that. But I don't want to see him at ring because I think he's just going to tarnish his career. I mean, Manny Pacquiao knocked him out in '09. Now it's 25 now. It's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a long time ago. Time flies, mate. It's like I say, it's got to. I can't think of it being anything else other than a money grab. Um, I can't think what he's done with that money because he must have earned a fortune from the Mayweather fight and the Pacquiao fight,
He's
and he
had a
must
lot
have
out
earned
of
an
job, hasn't
absolute
he? He's had a
fortune.
lot out at job, right?
Yeah,
So it's an ego thing. It's a bit like Froch wanting to fight Jake Paul because he knows he's going to get paid in that fight, doesn't he?
yeah, he's going to get paid a lot of money. Um, I don't know either of them, but I would imagine from what you do see on social media, Carl's a little bit more frugal.
Oh,
You
Froch
know,
definitely
Rick,
frugal, mate. He'll spend a week doing his own grass and cutting trees down in his garden, mate. He won't pay a landscaper.
well, there's a lot to be said for that. If I got Froch's money, you won't catch me doing it. But You wouldn't. I ain't got Frosh's money and I don't do it. But yeah, it's got to be a money grab. I don't like to see it. I don't like to see it. I'm not sure whether that'll sell out, to be honest.
You think Clinton Woods would come back? Yes or no?
No,
There you go. They're not all like Clinton, are they?
you're talking about two totally different characters there, aren't you? You're
Well,
just talking different characters.
well, with Clinton, he still knocks about with his schoolmates from Westfield Estate, doesn't he? He still goes to the same chippy. You know what I mean? So, it's black and white, isn't it?
Yeah,
Chalk and cheese.
he's a Sheffield. I mean, you've heard this before. I saw Clinton win an area belt at Pine Grove Sports Centre. You know, that's how far I go back watching Clinton. It's and it were a pleasure. It were a pleasure to do. It were a great night that. I had a few words with Pelly Reid in toilet. That's a different story. But yeah, you're just talking about two different characters. I mean, is there anybody more down to earth than Clinton Woods?
No, he's a wreck, man. You go around Clinton's, he puts kettle on fire. You know what I mean? And he'll sit there eating biscuits and having crack. He's not a big head, is he? He's not into all that social media knackers, is he? You know what I mean?
Well,
Kind
the
of
thing
thing.
about I don't know him. I don't know his mates, but we know what Yorkshire people are like. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he weren't like that? What would his mates from that state be saying to him?
They'd terrorise him. The banter would be off the charts.
Yeah, exactly.
His
So
brothers would terrorise him as well. They said, "Pipe down, you big head."
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's two different characters. It's a shame there's not many more people in boxing like that got that sort of same character. You know, there's not many, is there?
No, they're in. It's different. Uh, Amzad Shiraz, obviously he's moved up to 168, and he could you see him doing out at that weight?
Uh, on a world level, no. But yeah, British European, I could see him doing something. I'm not sure about a world level. Again, it's a stacked division. And again, it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. What I were going to ask you, mate, is talking about down to earth fighters. Um, Something was said about Josh Warrington, and obviously Josh Warrington's got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
And so I was surprised when it was said. Bellew on YouTube was saying that he saw Josh Warrington lose it overnight. And I thought, oh, surprised you've said that. Bearing in mind you're still half in and half out with the zone and matchroom, and you're saying that about a fighter who's got a fight coming up. I was surprised at that.
The mask slipped that night, didn't it?
Mm.
But you've got to understand, he also manages Yazza Dickens. Do you know what I mean, Bellew? So there could be, he might be trying to create some intense beef there. Do you know what I mean? Or
I
laughing
think it
luncheon
slipped out. I mean, what's he going to do when he runs into him next? He said he saw it happen overnight. He shot, and it just happened overnight. And I thought, oh, that's a bit of a that's an unusual one. I'm not saying he's wrong. I think he's right, but I was surprised that he said it.
Well, I don't think he's been able to pull bit trigger for a long time. But if Pickled Onion Space Raider wants to put it on B side Bellew, I ain't got a problem. I'll buy a ticket. Do you know what I mean? Well, I'm being honest. You know what I mean? He don't done out for me, Warrington. Now he's a spent fighter, and then people that keep pushing him out into fights, that telling him he's still got something, they should be really embarrassed. They're just embarrassing themselves, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he has. Like I say, I didn't disagree with what he said. He did age overnight. You know, he were top of the tree, rightly so. He were a good fighter in his time, really good. But when it's over, it's over. So I absolutely agree with you 100%.
Well, they beat that Assad Khan, a 19-6 guy, in April, but he ain't got no lined up. But they're talking Lee Wood for him, aren't they, at the moment?
I thought that fight was signed.
Well, look, it's not listed or anything. There's a lot. Well, they said Chisora Parker was signed, didn't they?
Yeah. No, I'm just going on what I'm saying is I'm just going on what I've seen. So I thought, like you said, I thought that because he was active, I was surprised that he'd said it and he's got something to do. But mind all that, I agree with you. He shouldn't be getting wheeled out again. He's got enough money. Why are people wanting to milk him? Just greed.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. But he fights on Saturday, doesn't he? Amzad Shiraz. He fights that Edgar Berlanga, who's 23-1 in New York on Saturday. It's on I think it's an Oscar De La Hoya show. It's in Queens, New York, at the Louis Armstrong Stadium. So, so Shiraz
Well,
fights. But
if it's on a Deloitte, if it's on a De La Hoya show, does he need to worry about getting paid or not?
Yeah, he'll get paid. He'll get paid. I think it's good matchmaking from Eric Gomez, to be honest. Really good matchmaking because him and Berlanga are both highly ranked. So, and fair play to Spencer Brown for getting him in this fight. They're really rolling the dice. But my opinion is this: they've got to roll the dice after that last performance because he got a gift with that draw, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, and if he doesn't win, where does that put him?
Well, I think he'll be a gatekeeper. But if he wins, they're going to call out Canelo, aren't they? That's what.
Yeah, Canelo. He's never going to see a fight with Canelo. He's not got the profile. He's not got anything to bring. Canelo is on his way out. He just wants a mega bucks fights. If the next fight is even remotely close, that'll be a rematch. And how old is he now, Canelo?
Well, it must be 35, 36, isn't he?
He's got to be. He's got to be. I mean, it's 10 years since he fought. Khan. It's 10 years since he fought Khan.
Jeez.
So yeah. So that's unbelievable, isn't it? 9, 10 years since he fought Khan. I watched it in Mexico, that fight. I didn't go to the fight. I just happened to be on holiday in Mexico at the time it was on. It's 9, 10 years ago, that fight. He's got to be 35-ish.
Yeah. Do you think Amir Khan will ever come back, Richard? And if he did, would you get behind him?
Uh, Maybe and no.
Well, I think
Um,
he'll come back because he's hawking himself around for a fight. But they all are, aren't they, really?
there's so much money available, Russ, even for
Yeah.
these nothing fights. There's these casual, voyeuristic people that will tune in to watch a car crash.
Yeah.
And if there's money to be generated, somebody will put it on.
Yeah.
There could be 9 people that say, no, it's not for me. It's distasteful. It's not what boxing's about. And one person out of that 10 people will say, "Oh, I'm going to do it. I want a few quid," and that's life. It's not great, but that's what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's craziness, isn't it?
Somebody should be asking Card why he sunk, I don't know, 15 million or whatever it is into a wedding venue in Bolton. That's what they should be asking him. When the doctor comes, they shouldn't be testing his reflexes or his heart. They should be focusing in on why he sunk 15 million of his own money into a wedding venue in Bolton that's not finished. That's what they should be asking him.
What all these
That should be
advisors?
that's what they should be focusing on. They shouldn't be asking him, follow my finger. They should be saying, "What the hell have you been doing?" Because that's a testament to what his mental state's like.
I've
So
seen that
that's
place actually. It looks like a dump pit site at the moment.
right. This is when 9 times out of 10 boxers are going to business deals and they're not businessmen, and this is what happens. I mean, it's ludicrous.
But what happens is they get into things like that, and then they get builders in it. Builders start putting invoices in left, right, and centre, and they start rinsing them because they don't know what they're doing. You see, whereas
Don't know what they're doing.
Frotch has got actually been around the building game. His dad was a joiner. Their Lee's a builder, so he controls everything. Frotch, he does it right. That company, he's got the whole project. They do the job properly. And Carl will spend a day once a week going through every invoice with a magnifying glass. I'm telling you now. And that's how you don't get
Listen,
your leg lifted, isn't it? I guess.
well, listen. Let's say sometime last. I'm joking at 15 million. The last report I heard on TV was he'd
Well,
sunk at that time. Yeah, 12 million. So that if it's a 5 year payback, he's got to generate 60 million pounds worth of profit to get his money back out of a wedding venue in Bolton.
no.
How is that going to happen?
Think would happen, is it?
There's not enough Saturdays in the. There's not enough days in the year, is there?
No, no. What it is, you see, it's people that get their heads turned, and what happens is people get into these fighters' heads. I mean, look at that. Who is it? Terry Stone. He tried to get into Frotch to put money into Once Upon a Time in London, a film that they did, and he offered Frotch a small part in it, but he had to. He would have had to invest. You can imagine what Frotch has had to what of that, can't you?
Well,
Hey,
hey, I know somebody. He did that same guy did a crowdfunding project, and a guy who I know, I won't call him a mate, a kid who I went to school with, he invested some money just for that reason, bit of an ego trip. And I think he got like an extra part. He was just seeing it background in a restaurant or a walk on.
well, look
But he
what they
had
did.
to.
Look what they did with Rio Ferdinand and Ashley Cole. They put money up, didn't they? And they were executive producers in that film called Dead Man Running It with Tamer Hussain and Danny Dyer. And that bombed, didn't it? It went to DVD very quickly. They spunk the money in it, Rio Ferdinand and Ashley Cole. They did 1 million on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
50 Cent had a small role in it. But the point I want to make is sometimes people, they go to these after parties and all the sharks are waiting for them. You know what I mean? And you've got to look at it as absolute. All you boxers out there, when you're getting approached by these guys, same thing happened to Gary Mason once he got 6 figures in bank in 80s. He did his money in on a jeweler's. Bomber Graham did as well. You get people in your ear holes and up your arseholes. Stay away from them. They're full of shit. You've got to be like Frotch and say, no, not for me, mate. Pop, pop, bang. You know what I mean?
yeah. Listen. You've got to get in a position of FU quickly, and it doesn't matter what that point is. It could be just that you bought your terraced house. It does not matter. Get yourself in a position of FU. Then, when you're in that position of FU, then you can have a bit of a punt if you can afford to lose it. But
Yeah.
other than that, stick it in bank, get 5%.
There you
If you
go.
can't think of anything else to do, stick it in the bank and get 5%. If
Yeah.
you got millions, you get more than 5%. So if somebody's not offering you a dead cert return for your money and you can't see it, don't do it. You can't be any more clear than that. There's no such thing as get rich quick.
No,
So
Frotch does.
so
Listen, mate, if it's that easy, why are you not putting your money in? Why are you coming to me? That's all you've got to look at it. Like, if there's that much money to be made, why are you looking for investors? You see where I'm coming from?
exactly. Listen, mate, I've nearly fallen out with friends over the same thing. I'm telling you.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Uh, YouTube channels, Richard, and this access thing. Do you think it's now out of control? The access and the questions that are being asked. Is it now plain as daylight for everybody to see that nobody dare ask a proper question?
It's plain as day to see for people that watch this channel.
Yeah.
And for hardcore boxing fans, it's plain to see. I think for your talk sport listeners and for casuals, they don't really care. They just want a glimpse of it. They just want to they just want to be able to talk about it with their mates and say what they've seen and this has been said and that's been said. They don't question the validity of it. They don't question that no real questions or answers have been given. They're not really bothered. I think what has become clear though is that there's too many people at it and it's become diluted. So you've got 10 people asking the same 10 questions on every single YouTube boxing channel that
Yeah.
gets access. So you can click onto anyone, you'll see the same questions being asked in the same interview. What I'd be questioning is IFL. It was supposedly 2-3 years ago. Coogan were putting a value on it of 5 million.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what that's worth now.
Well, he's out at picture. He's out. He's not. He's not Eddie's go-to guy now. It's Puppy Parsons because he can control him, can't he? You see?
Well, they've all got their own, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, they've
Uh,
all got
um,
little in-house medias, haven't they?
yeah, they've all got their own. You don't see Warren on IFL that often, do you? He does it. He goes his own way.
Yeah, he's got Umar in his pocket. You see, my argument is this: when you're doing an interview with Fury, and he's like, "Look, I definitely beat him. I was robbed." Why can't these interviewers who know the boxing obviously say, "Well, I thought that you lost," because they give an opinion when it's other people, especially people outside the circle, like Americans and stuff like that. So why can't they give an opinion when they're doing interviews in UK on what they think about the fight? Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's like I was saying in part one, but when even if they do genuinely believe that he won, why don't they say to him, "Look, Tyson, I agree with you, mate. I think it were you got a close, you won the fight, you got a bad decision, but it were close.
Yeah,
But can you tell me why you didn't do what you said you were going to do to him?
yeah,
Why was it so hard? Why was it close, Tyson? Tell me that and get
yeah,
his opinion on that."
yeah,
That's what they should be asking him. So never mind about decision. You said you were going to do this, that, and the other to him. You said he was no good. You said he was a middleweight. What happened, bud?
yeah.
Why can't they
Well,
say that to him?
what about Compy Box? I mean, I know that's not a play something to score it, but it gives you a guideline as to how many were thrown and how many were landed in each particular round. That's a good guide to go from it. And if you're looking at the judges, they actually agreed with Compy Box, but they haven't got access to that on the night. So I thought the AI judging were quite fair.
Well, they should be asking him those sort of questions. They should be saying, "You said you were going to," and I know boxers say they're going to knock. I'm going to knock you out. You know, and that's what they intend to do. That's the intention. But we know that it's going to be what it's going to be before the fight. 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
you can predict a fight, the outcome at least. 9 times out of 10, you can predict it. There's not very many genuine 50-50 fights. So after the fight, why aren't they saying, what happened to your game plan, mate? What happened? Because it'll force the fighter to say, "Listen, they were better than I thought. We worked on this plan in training. I couldn't execute it because he were too good. If I ever fight him again, I'm going to have to do something completely different. And I can't tell you what that is, but it's going to have to be completely different because that doesn't work."
Yeah.
They can't say that because they know in reality they're not going to go back to gym and have 6 months and be
Right.
transform themselves in 6 months, are they? They're going to be more or less the same fighter, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. Wholeheartedly. Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, mate. We've had a good hour.
No problem, mate. Anytime, you know that.
All right. Well, listen, you take care and keep in touch.
All right, mate. See you later.
Cheers,
Good
mate.
talking to you.
Bye.
See you later, bud.
That was Richard from Rotherham. Women loving men want to be him. That's about it, really. Off to do some training now. Pop, pop, bang. One, peace out.